Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could join me today because I've got a really fun video in store for you. I don't know about you, but I love to create with word dies. I think word dies are just spectacular in their own right. But today I'm going to teach you 8 ways that you can take a word die and enhance it and make it really spectacular. Are you ready to learn how? All right, we're going to head over to the stamping table and let me show you my 8 techniques. Today's video is going to be focusing on the wanted to say dies, but let me tell you, the techniques I'm going to teach you, you could do with any of your favorite dies. But what I've noticed is a lot of people do not even recognize these dies. Let me show you why. Many people kind of miss this in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. So this is on page 167 of the 2023-2024 catalog. Right down here are the wanted to say dies. I kind of like to call these standalone dies. They don't go with a particular stamp set, but actually they will go with any stamp set because they just have all occasion sentiments that work with it. So today we're going to feature 8 different techniques using these dies. My number one tip with working with word dies has got to be the adhesive sheets. Again, a little hidden gem there in the Stampin' Up! Catalog you may not have noticed. You get 10 sheets in a package. And what we've got going here is it's basically double-sided sticky paper. And when it comes to adding word dies to a card, this stuff is key. So I'll tell you what, we're going to start with our first card and our first technique, and then I'm going to be using the adhesive sheets, and I'll show you how those work. The first technique I want to share with you is how to create an ombre using your word dies. Now, we're actually going to be creating this card as well, so I do want to let you know there is a free download that goes along with my video today. So I'll have the instructions on creating this card. I've got another one I'm going to share with you. So you can find that at SimplySimpleStamping.com, or you can look down in the YouTube description for a direct link. I'd love for you to have that so you can recreate the cards. If anything, it's a great layout. So go for it. So for this first card, we're going to say happy birthday. Now, I obviously have plenty of cardstock here. This is a 2.5 by 4 inch. So plenty of room there, but now let's talk about that adhesive sheet. So I can see I only really need adhesive sheet kind of right here in the middle. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit bigger than my die. So I think I'm going to go 2 inches by, let's say, about 3.5. I like to conserve my adhesive sheet, so I don't want to cut more than I really need. So on the adhesive sheet, you're going to see this backing, right? We're going to peel this away, and I want you to peel it away very slowly because we want to make sure all that adhesive stays right where it should. Now, I'm going to adhere this in the center of my cardstock. That way I kind of know exactly where I'm going to be die cutting. You notice I only peeled half of it away. I want to make sure I get it on nice and flat. I'm going to peel off the second part of my backing, again, very gently, and I can lay my next side of my adhesive down. All right, I'm going to flip this over because we're going to do our ombre technique here. This is so much fun. I'm going to be using the Melon Mambo Stampin' Blends. And I have to tell you a secret. When I first tried this technique, my thought was I'll start with dark and then I'll do light and it'll be a great ombre. Well, you know what I got? I got a dark pink happy and a light pink birthday. So I'm going to share with you a little trick to ombre. And we're going to start with our dark Stampin' Blend. And again, remember, I kind of know about where my die is going to sit. So I'm going to take my dark up at the top and the bottom. I'm just scribbling, all right? Nothing, you don't even have to be fancy about it. Now I'm going to come in with the light and I'm going to go right over that dark so I can kind of blend those together. Do you see how it's kind of blending? That's the great thing about Stampin' Blends is that they're going to blend all these colors together. And by the way, if I've missed a spot, I'm not going to worry about it, not at all. So I think I'll just stop right there. Now we can come in with our happy birthday die. And you know what? Do you see I might miss a little bit there? I'm going to teach you how to fix that. We are ready to run this through our die cutting machine. Base plate 1, thin die adapter 2, cutting plate 3. Now we can add our happy birthday. And like I said, not worried if I'm missing a spot. I'm going to add top plate 3. And let's see what we get. Okay, well, my happy's stuck in there, but there we go. We can pop that right out. Do you see that fabulous ombre? Do you see how I went from dark to light? And I think now that you see this, you can understand why I said that if I tried to do just dark and then light, I got a dark happy birthday and a light happy, or a dark happy and a light birthday. But when I do it this way, look, we have ombre going on. Now look at that. Do you see that little spot I missed? I can just come in and I can hit that with my Stampin' Blend. Not a worry in the world. You also noticed I have some little hanging chads in there. I got a tip for that too. So we're going to set this off to the side so we can create our card. And I'm going to be using Bubble Bath cardstock 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. And then I have 2 pieces here. I've got some Melon Mambo and some basic white, 2 1/8 by 5 1/2. And then I have a 1 7/8 by 5 1/2. Now, we're going to do a little die cutting from this piece of our Melon Mambo. And just so I can make sure I have plenty of time to show you everything, I'm just going to bring in what I did. So here in the die set, we have a presents, we have a bow, and we have some stars. And I thought, you know, I'm going to use these. I'm not going to waste anything. So I die cut these, and then I did an additional present and an additional set of stars. We're going to cover that up by adhering our basic white right on top. And now we're going to adhere that right here at an angle on our Bubble Bath card base. Now, I didn't put adhesive here on the ends because I'm actually going to be trimming that off. So what I want to do is when I adhere this down, I just want to make sure everything is hanging off. All right. We don't want anything that shouldn't be there. We're going to trim this away. Now let's add our happy birthday. And remember, I talked about those hanging chads. Well, when you use the adhesive sheets, watch this. We're going to peel off a backing. And when you go to pull that, watch what happens. Oh, those little guys pop right out. And I can add this right here onto my card. And let me show you something. You could even, let's just change it up here. We could do this, and we can even round out our birthday. How great is that? Yeah, you've got lots of options with these dies. It's also very forgiving. So if you didn't get it set right where you want it, go ahead and lift it up, give it another try. And really, it's not stuck down until you decide you want it stuck down. I think about right there looks good. So now when I give it a press, it's not going anywhere. But isn't it fun that you have that opportunity to kind of give it a nice little curl? One of the fun things you can do with word dies. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and show you what my completed card looks like, because what we did is I took those presents and those stars, I added those right there to my card. I just die cut another little extra. Do you notice this one? Yeah, I just used a Stampin' Blend to color that in, added some festive pearls, and made myself a really fun ombre happy birthday card. And remember, I've got all the instructions for this card right here in your free download. How about another really fun happy birthday card? Only this time we're going to use the kind of the shadow that comes along with it. And can you see with this one, this is a really great shimmery paper. I've got several cards to feature using many of the papers here on page 127 of the catalog. Let's talk about this soft shimmer paper. It comes in 5 colors: Pretty Peacock, Berry Burst, Night of Navy, Bubble Bath, and Lost Lagoon. And what gorgeous shimmer! So I've just cut a couple strips here from that shimmer paper, but what I want you to see is that we're only going to use the adhesive sheet on the Berry Burst because we have the ability to add the Bubble Bath, that outline, with just regular adhesive. So I will put my happy birthday there, no adhesive sheet. My actual words, happy birthday, that one will have the adhesive sheet. I peeled away my adhesive sheet, added that to the bubble bath, and then can you see I decided to use Stampin' Dimensionals to add my happy birthday sentiment. Now I just added some torn paper in Fresh Freesia, Basic White, Highland Heather on a Berry Burst card. I die cut 3 flowers from that Basic White before I adhered it down, and just like that, we've got a fabulous and shiny birthday card. Now, like I said, there's a lot of really fun shimmery paper. This is our textured shimmer paper. This would also be beautiful using your word dies. There's also the In Colors Luster specialty paper. Isn't that beautiful? There's also an In Color textured paper that also has a great shine. And as they like to say, but wait, there's more. Yes, there's also the white center paper. And this also has a great sheen to it. 10 sheets total, 5 different colors. Right, now this one, you might need to put your sunglasses on. This is called our holographic paper. And it's just amazing just what my lights here in the studio are doing to this paper. But I think you can see how awesome it is. Let me share with you a card I created with this. So I know 4th of July here in the United States is over, but I did want to share with you this card that I created. And I just used a strip of that holographic paper. All right, so I need to show you how I cut this piece to create the card. So I know it's very difficult in these lights because my lights are picking up so many colors. But when you have it in person, you're going to see it can go from blue to red. This is all blue. This is all red, so we want to make sure we're cutting it this direction so we get blue and red. I'm going to trim this down to 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to die cut several sets of stars going across. That way they also go from blue to red. And then you can see I just trimmed down that part that said celebrate, covered it with some white cardstock. No one's ever going to know we did some die cutting behind there. And do you see my red, white, and blue ribbon, or actually red, silver, and blue? So that is some of the In Color metallic ribbon. I just added all of my stars. It's just a simple little card. This one is called a bay window card. If you search Simply Simple Stamping, you'll find the directions for creating a bay window. But for me, this was all about adding that great holographic look. If you haven't figured it out, I kind of like bling. So here we are going to take our More Dazzle specialty paper, and more dazzle it is. So if you love glitter, but you don't like the mess, this is the paper for you. So I've created 2 projects with this one. The first thing I did is I die cut the word celebrate and created just a very simple, I just did some embossing here to create a really great anniversary card. But if you want to go a little more bling, how about this one here? So I created a tag featuring that paper, and then I'm excited to share with you what I have going on here. So I've got just a scrap of some basic black cardstock, and I will die cut the word celebrate. But you know what? This set does not have the word you, but it does have a your. So I'm going to take the Youre Too Kind, and I'm just going to die cut that little part there because all I want is the word you. I'm going to come in with a Wink of Stella brush, and I love using the Wink of Stella brush. It just adds a great shimmer, and it's just so easy to apply. It's just a simple little brush, so we can add the little glimmer here to our celebrate. In fact, you know what? I'm going to bring in my you just so you can see the difference between the two. But we do want shimmer on this one as well. I'm going to use this little extra here as just something to hold on to. And let's get our word you. And now we're just going to do a little trim. We'll trim away the RE. And then that little apostrophe, we can cut that off as well. And just like that, we now have a celebrate you. And speaking of the Wink of Stella brush, I wanted to show you another one with the Youre Too Kind. And by the way, I just die cut the Youre Too Kind from this back piece that I used here on my card. But what I wanted you to see is how gorgeous the Wink of Stella is on these really bright colors. Especially, can you see there in the leaf and the stem? It really adds a lot. And look at how we can just make our words pop.
All right, I said the magic words, pop, and that is exactly what we're going to do with this card here. How about a great Feel Better Soon card? Now this, I'm going to be using a product you've not seen in the Stampin' Up! Catalog because this is actually something I picked up at a craft store. It's called craft foam. Are you guys familiar with this? You know, I keep craft foam on hand. And actually, I keep black and I keep white because I use both of them quite a bit. It's very inexpensive. Great big sheets for about $1. In fact, you could probably find this at your local discount store as well. But I want to show you how I created that Feel Better Soon. The Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer will cut through this foam so easy. But I want to share a little secret. It didn't cut all the way through, did it? No, don't worry. Watch. Boop. Perfect. Perfect. It scores it just right, cuts just enough of it, and then you can tear. So I've got a little 2" by 3.5" My Feel Better Soon will go on there. Don't forget, we do want to add our adhesive sheet here to the back because it's going to make adding this super easy. Now, little side note, you might find craft foam that already has an adhesive back. I actually don't recommend it. It's not sticky enough. It's kind of more just tacky, and I was not successful with it. So I really recommend, rather than purchasing adhesive-backed craft foam, go ahead and get the regular and use the adhesive sheet. So you can also cut through this craft foam with your dies. So plates 1, 2, and 3. There's my Feel Better Soon. I'll add my top cutting plate. The craft foam is so soft that it cuts through with no issue at all. And we will pull out our Feel Better Soon. But let's create our card. I have a piece of soft sea foam that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of balmy blue, 2 3/4 by 4.25. And a piece of basic white that is a 2.5 by 4 inches. You'll also need just a little scrap of some bubble bath because we are going to die cut those flowers. And I'm going to die cut about 3 of those. Now let's create with another background. So I'm going to take my Feel Better Soon from the center of that balmy blue. Now before I start to create that card, I'm going to take some bubble bath ribbon. This comes in a combo pack. I'm actually going to leave it on the spool, and I'm just going to tie it here in a knot in the upper left side of my card. This is just going to add some really great softness to my card. Now I'm going to take my Feel Better Soon. I've added adhesive to the back, and I want to center that now on my card. I can take the basic white. We're just going to cover that up. No one's ever going to know that we did a little swiping from behind that balmy blue because we will hide that. I'm now going to add my Feel Better Soon right here. Now, again, no adhesive sheet on this one because I'm able to just I can use my Stampin' Seal, or of course, you've got your fabulous multi-purpose glue. So pick your favorite. I will add my shadow right there to my card, and now my fabulous craft foam Feel Better Soon. Remember, we had adhesive sheet on this one, so we can pull away our backings. And guess what? I forgot to tell you, you do want to make sure you remove any of those little pieces inside your letters, because remember, this is that craft foam and it cuts through a little bit different. So you do want to make sure that all gets pulled out before you pull off your backings. Now, you see, it's very flexible. I want you to take it nice and slow when you add this to your card. So I'm just going to use my shadow here. Remember what I said about the adhesive sheet being very forgiving. Yeah, so I don't want to press any of this down until I'm sure I have everything centered up. And then we can add some of those pink flowers with Stampin' Dimensionals and some fabulous adhesive back sequins. Oh my goodness, I used the pink and those iridescent, and look at, just incredible dimension. Love this card. What a wonderful way to say Feel Better Soon. It is true. I love bling, but I also love shine. So I'm going to teach you how to get this great shiny look and how you can add this to just about anything. I've added it to just a sweet little box. So I've gone ahead and cut my shadow from a piece of basic white cardstock. Now I'll show you how to create the shine. Packing tape. You guys, if you followed me for a while, you know this is just one of my favorite techniques. So I have that there. I'm going to flip it over. I have cut my adhesive sheet to size for the die. Peel off that backing. Again, just like we did before, I'll go right in the center. So now, packing side up, I'm going to die cut Youre Too Kind. And then I'm also going to get some of these little hearts. So I'll get a couple hearts here, or I guess there's 3, and I'll get 3 right here. Now with this one, you're going to get 3 separate words, all right? So, which actually, I gotta tell you, it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to adhere these down, because you're not gonna be working with one big die, but 3 littles. And let me just zoom in there so that you can see that's the gloss that I'm talking about. And these, I just simply added it to the front of a focal image for my box. But guys, you gotta love some shine. And there you go, my friends. 8 fantastic tips of how you can use any of your word dies. Again, I used the wanted to say dies on my projects today, but you have so many new ideas of how you're going to be able to use your word dies to make some incredible cards.
If you enjoyed today's video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And hey, if you have not subscribed, why not click the subscribe button, ring the bell there on YouTube, and they'll let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. While you're at it, share with some crafty friends. We love to have as many here on the channel just to share our love of stamping and paper crafting. Thank you again for being here, everybody. Can't wait to stamp with you next time. Bye-bye.